Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to look at two important trig identities and see how they work. What is an identity? An identity is sort of like a pattern that people have noticed always holds and can show an interesting result about something. For example, the Pythagoras theorem is an important rule about triangles which always holds. Our first trig identity will be that sine squared x plus cos squared x is equal to 1 for every angle x. It's always true. Isn't that strange? How does that even work? Let's look at a triangle and see what's happening here. If we have a right angle triangle, and we have our angle theta, or let's make that x, or angle x, and we've got sides A, B, and C, then we know, by our rules for trig formulas, we know sine x is opposite over hypotenuse, that's A over C, and cosine x is equal to B over C. And we also know, by the Pythagoras theorem, that a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. If we do a little algebra, and we divide everything here by c squared, we get a squared over c squared plus b squared over c squared is equal to 1. That's like saying a over c squared plus b over c squared is equal to 1. And as we just showed, a over c is sine x and b over c is cosine x. So, using that, we've just shown that sine x squared plus cosine x squared is always equal to 1. And another way to express this is sine squared x. This means the same thing as this. But on a side note, this is not necessarily equal to this. Generally not. So make sure you don't confuse that. These two are equal to each other. Okay. This formula is very important. A lot of times, when you're asked to use this, it'll be using this to simplify other formulas. For example, we used it in our other video to prove the cosine rule. Let's look at our second trig identity for this video. 1 plus tan squared x is equal to sec squared x, where this is secant, and secant is equal to 1 over cosine x. Let's see if this makes sense. If we assume our formula from earlier is true, and it should be because we proved it, we know that cosine squared plus sine squared is equal to 1. If we divide everything here by cosine squared, then we get, this should be cosine squared, cosine squared, then we get, this simplifies to 1, and then sine over cosine is tan, so that's tan squared x is equal to secant squared x. Another way to do it is if we divided both sides here by sine squared x instead of cosine squared x, in which case would get cosine squared x over sine squared x plus 1 is equal to 1 over sine squared x, which is cosecant. And cosine over sine is equal to cot, cotangent. And this is our third formula. So we get these two by basically looking a little closer at the terms in our first equation. So again, it all leads back to this first identity. Now, there are a lot of trig identities. The important thing is being able to simplify a complicated looking formula into something like this, which you know.